It's early morning in London. Morning sunlight covers the street. A silver car stops outside a quiet brick house. Doors open. Plainclothes officers step out. Their radios make noise. Inside, a man sits at the kitchen table. A half-finished cup of tea rests beside him. He scrolls through his phone, unaware of the cars outside. 3 loud knocks on the door. A short pause. Then, louder. The man freezes. His wife looks at him, confused. Before he can move, the door bursts open. Officers rush inside, boots pounding on the floor.
Tom, serious fraud officer here. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent, but anything you say will be used against you in court.
The man isn't surprised at all. Just a few weeks earlier, he was a top trader at UBS and Citigroup in the UK. His job was to deal with something called LIBOR. From the very beginning, LIBOR, the rate tied to $450 trillion in global contracts, was never real. It was rigged by design. Governments knew, regulators knew. But when the truth came out, they needed someone to blame. That someone was this man. Officers grab his arms, pulling them behind his back. The metal cuffs snap shut. His wife stands frozen in the doorway, her eyes wide open. Just yesterday, she was laughing with her husband, planning their next vacation, saving for their kids' college. Today, that all changed. She stands there, silent. She only watches as the man is taken away. Outside, cameras flash. Reporters are already there. The world now knows his name. As he is put into the back of the police car, his face shows no surprise, no fear, just quiet acceptance, like he had been waiting for this moment to finally happen. To understand how this kid ended up in the back of this car, we need to go back. Back to 2004. The world is still catching its breath after the dot-com crash. The internet boom had burst, and the optimism vanished with it. But in America's financial districts, a new bubble is quietly forming. Inside a bank, a young couple sits nervously at a desk. No savings, no stable job. Still, the loan officer slides a stack of papers across the table. A mortgage. They sign. No questions asked. Across America, the same scene repeats. Families with shaky credit, handed the keys to homes they could never afford. To the banks, that doesn't matter. Because they believe one thing. Housing prices will never go down. If borrowers stop paying, no problem. The bank just takes the house, sells it again, and walks away with a profit. That was the logic. That was the trap. And for a while, it worked. But greed never stops where it should. Soon the banks find a way to turn risk into gold. They take thousands of these shaky mortgages, bundle them together, and call them mortgage-backed securities. Each bundle is sold to investors around the world. Everyone wants the safe returns promised by the street, but behind the numbers was a ticking bomb. It's 2006 now. Homeowners begin to miss payments. By 2007, a few missed payments turned into thousands. For the first time in years, prices don't rise. They fall. Collateral shrinks. Inside risk rooms, the math turns against them. Portfolios that once looked safe now bleed red. Then comes the break. September 2008. Lehman Brothers. A century-old name steps into the lobby for the last time. But before Lehman falls, let's go back a little. April 2008, New York City. This is Scott Peng, researcher at Citigroup. This morning, something catches his eye. 2 lines that should never separate. The first, the federal funds rate, the price banks pay to borrow cash from the US central bank. The second, the LIBOR, the price banks pay to borrow cash from each other. The two should move together, up and down, but they're not. The federal funds rate is rising fast. The world is panicking, yet the LIBOR is unmoving. Scott runs the math again. Same result. Something is deeply wrong. He writes a report. Its title is simple. Is LIBOR broken? When the report lands, journalists seize it. The accusation is clear. Banks might be lying. Citigroup, Barclays, UBS, all are suddenly under suspicion. Tokyo. The man reads the article. He doesn't know it yet, but his own fingerprints are already on the story. While the world begins to ask, is LIBOR broken? This man already knows the answer. The LIBOR is not broken, it's bent, and he knew who bent it. Meanwhile, the banks deny everything. Press releases, interviews, assurances. They say the system works, LIBOR is fine, that there's nothing to worry about. But what the hell is even LIBOR? To understand that, we have to go back, way back to 1986. London, the city that never sleeps. Inside a conference room, the world's most powerful bankers gather around a long table. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citigroup, UBS, and 7 others, each represented, each holding a small whiteboard. They're here for one reason, to solve a problem no one else can. The world of finance is changing fast. Oil money is flooding in from the Middle East. Corporations are borrowing across borders. And yet, no one can agree on a fair way to set the price of borrowing cash. Rates jumped from London to New York, from Tokyo to Zurich. Banks are losing millions. And today, they're here to fix that. One single rate to rule them all. The first board rises. JP Morgan, 3.1%. Bank of America leans forward, 1.72. Citigroup follows, one by one until the last. UBS, 9.23. The rules are simple. Every morning, these banks will declare one number, the rate to borrow money from each other. The highest and lowest numbers are excluded. The rest are averaged. That final number will be called LIBOR, the London Interbank Offered Rate, the rate that would soon underpin over $450 trillion in global loans. And for this man, that number meant everything. By the 2000s, LIBOR was the backbone of global finance. Mortgages, student loans, municipal bonds, corporate debt, your wife-boyfriend's loan, all tied to the LIBOR. Now back to the LIBOR scandal. Within months, the headlines exploded. Banks scramble to settle before the storm hits them. Barclays, $450 million. Citigroup, $425 million. UBS, $1.5 billion. Deutsche Bank, $2.5 billion. Billions in fines. For months, UBS had tried to contain the fallout, cooperating with investigators, cutting deals behind closed doors. In exchange for leniency, they handed over everything. Emails, recorded calls, chat logs, thousands of messages, each one a piece of a puzzle. And at the center of that puzzle was one name, Tom Hayes. So, who exactly was Tom Hayes? To answer that, we have to rewind once again. October 1979, London. A boy is born. They called him Tom Hayes. His parents separate when he's still young. This is him today, barely 10, counting coins at the table. Every month, the numbers don't add up. Today is another day of counting coins. Then, a knock at the door. Debt collectors. They ask Mama for money, water, electricity, rent. The bills are due. Everything costs more than they can pay. His mother works through the night. 2 jobs, then 3. Still not enough. From early on, one thing is clear. Tom is brilliant with numbers, precise, but socially, he's detached. People confuse his bluntness for arrogance. In truth, he's just wired differently. High school ends, and the hunger grows sharper. Summer breaks at college aren't breaks at all. Mops, dishes, grease, and heat. 80 hours a week. The pay barely moves the needle. But something else is changing. His appetite, his tolerance for risk, his belief that numbers, if understood, can be bent. Then, the door opens to a different world. 2001, Tom lands a full-time role at the Royal Bank of Scotland. He shadows senior traders, listens more than he speaks, watch hands, not faces. Tom is moved to a special desk. Phones ring hotter here. Risk limits live closer to the edge. Now it's cash on the line. No training wheels. No do-overs. Tom takes his seat, headset on, eyes locked on interest rate swaps. This is the beast Tom starts to ride. July 2006, Tokyo. The Bank of Japan raises rates for the first time in 6 years. 1 quarter point, one message. The era of free money is ending. Overnight, the game flips. Borrowers scramble to lock payments. Interest rate swaps are suddenly the hottest ticket in town. Amid the noise, one name pushes to the front, UBS. They see a chance to make money. But to win in a city full of golden traders, they need a diamond, someone who never cracks. They find him, Tom Hayes. He flies east, New badge, new desk, a new city that never blinks. Tokyo swallows him whole. Tom steps into the Tokyo office and sees how everything is arranged, where certain traders sit, which doors stay closed, which screens get privacy filters. The message is simple. In a dirty game, clean play is not enough. September 15th, 2008, New York. At Lehman Brothers, the math no longer makes sense. Over $600 billion in debt. No buyers, no rescue, midnight strikes. A century-old empire collapses into dust. The largest bankruptcy in history. The next morning, chaos. Bankers carry boxes past cameras. The fall is official. Washington Mutual follows. AIG, the giant with its hands in everything, just got bailed out for $180 billion. A generation of bankers watches their world burn. The world's financial machine, the one everyone believed could never stop, has jammed. Real estate, construction, banking, all falling together. And the institutions once called too big to fail now sit inches from the edge. Some are already gone. Others survive only because governments are holding them up. Tom's jackpot flips into a time bomb. Each tick brings him closer to ruin. Tens of millions could vanish before the weekends. This time, trading skills won't be enough. He needs something bigger, something deeper in the system. He scrolls. He finds it. A single number. The number that controls everything. LIBOR. He reaches out. A network of traders. Contacts in Tokyo, New York, London. The order is simple. Push down the yen LIBOR. This is his heist. No mask. No vault. Just the world's economy on the line. Japanese swaps. His playground are trading for pennies. Tom loads up. Hundreds of millions in discounted contracts. If the market stabilizes, he'll walk away with a fortune. If not, he'll go down with a bubble. Today is the day he's been waiting for. 9 a.m. in London, 5 p.m. in Tokyo. The moment arrives. Tom sits frozen, eyes locked on the 6-month yen LIBOR. Each point is a gun to his head. The numbers are out. Euro, up 4 points. Swiss franc, 5. British pound, 27. US dollar, 38. Then comes Japan. The yen LIBOR drops. 1 single basis point. For a moment, time stops. Against every law of logic, the rate that should have exploded fell. And with it, his bomb disarms. His massive bets. Safe. His gamble has paid off. In a year when titans fall, when balance sheets crumble, Tom delivers $90 million in profit for UBS. He's the man who cracked the code. The golden boy of UBS. After years at UBS, he was done. Tired of promotions. Tired of politics. Deutsche Bank, Barclays, Goldman Sachs, they all come calling. Everyone wants him. The man who beat the collapse. Citigroup offered him everything. A $3 million signing bonus. A new empire to build. Tom signed. He didn't know it yet, but this was the deal that would undo him. May 6th, 2010. A date burned into Wall Street's memory. In minutes, over $1 trillion vanish. Algorithms spiral, feeding on themselves. The markets slip out of human control. By the time systems recover, the damage is already irreversible. They call it the flash crash. When it's over, Tom has lost $25 million. The legend of Tom Hayes has cracked. He's mastered the math of risk. But now, the risk is mastering him. And what comes next turns failure into disaster. Tokyo, 2010. 2 men sneak inside Citigroup's office. They move quickly, quiet. They know exactly where to go. A shared computer drive, Tom's trading book, his entire empire, laid bare in spreadsheets, every position, every number, every secret. They print everything, hundreds of pages. Tom's bets, exposed, and then they vanish. At Deutsche's Tokyo desk, the stolen data becomes a weapon. They handcraft trades designed to crush Tom's 5 biggest positions. One by one, other banks join in, rivals who've waited years to bring him down. Tom fights back, pouring everything into the battle, but the tide is against him. One by one, his positions collapse. Margin calls hit, losses mount. There's only one move left, to fold. And when he does, the floor erupts in celebration. Tokyo's banks finally have their revenge on the boy who once ruled the swaps market. Tom had beaten markets, governments, and logic itself, but not revenge. But revenge comes at a price, because the trades they used to destroy him are about to tear holes in the system itself. September 6, 2010, 10 a.m., Tokyo. Tom is called into a meeting. A quick chat, they say. But when he walks in, the room tells a different story. HR managers, lawyers, executives, faces he's never seen, all waiting for him. At the center of the table, a single letter. They slide it across. He opens it. It's over. Your employment with Citigroup is terminated immediately. No argument, just a number. $5 million offered as a settlement. His silence, in exchange for a clean exit. Tom stares at the page. It's written in corporate language. But between the lines, he can read the truth. He's been sacrificed. 10 months after joining, Tom signs the letter, picks up his remains, and is escorted out of the building for the last time. By the end of 2012, the Americans were ready to indict Tom, but they were too late. 2 days before the Americans landed, the UK moved first. Tom was arrested and put in the back of this car. And this is how we got here. The car drives off. London, 2015. Today is court day for Tom. He sits alone at the defense table. Prosecutors lay it out like a thriller script. They call him the architect, the mastermind who pulled strings across the continents. Tom takes a stand. He doesn't deny them. His defense is brutally simple. It wasn't illegal at the time. There were no rules, no laws, and more importantly, everyone was doing it. After 9 weeks of testimony, the verdict is read. Guilty. All 8 counts. Then, he delivers the sentence. 14 years in prison. It's later reduced to 11 on appeal. But by then, the message is clear. Someone had to pay, and it would be Tom. For years, he played the system. Now, the system is playing him. Outside, the world has already moved on. Banks are bigger, markets are faster. LIBOR itself has been replaced. Years later, new voices begin to emerge. February 2022. BBC investigation uncovers something unexpected. They called it the lowball tapes. Inside, senior figures from Barclays and even the Bank of England are caught on record, discussing how to manipulate the LIBOR. Not traders, not brokers, these are officials.
We've had some very serious pressure from the UK government and the Bank of England about pushing the LIBORs lower.
Even worse, the leaks showed that since 2010, both the FBI and UK regulators had known about these top-level manipulations. They had the evidence. They just chose to keep it secret from the public. By March, the tables had turned. The media began to rewrite the story. Tom Hayes, the man once branded a criminal genius, was now called something else. The fall guy, the scapegoat, the man who went to prison for a crime others had ordered. The US had its hands dirty in a lot of things, but this one, they knew wasn't theirs. It wasn't one of their many crimes. So they did what any logical power would do. They quietly dropped every case against Tom. The rest of the world followed. But London didn't. London refused to let go. Because if Tom walked free, who would take the blame? March 2024. The British court, in fact, doubled down on Tom's conviction, making the UK the only country still chasing the scapegoat. This has been Legenemy, clocking out.